There are some jokes that just aren't funny.
The Novak Djokovic fans there in full voice. Yeah, the chants are quite extraordinary. Novak, he's overrated. Novak's a has-been. Novak, kick him out.
Let's dissect that a little.
Novak, he's overrated.
Overrated? The greatest male player of all time with 24 Grand Slam titles, 10 Australian Open titles, a winning ratio of more than 83%.
Novak's a has-been.
A has-been? He just won the gold medal at the Paris Olympic Games.
Novak, kick him out.
Kick him out? We tried that too a couple of years ago. How did that go? The Australian government decided mid-flight that they'd change the rules on Novak, so when he got on the plane, his exemption for not having a COVID vaccine was seen as passable. When he got here, they told him it wasn't. So they detained him in a hotel where they normally lock up refugees. And after he was deported, he came back and won another Australian Open title. Here's Novak on the very reasons why he decided he was not going to talk to the official broadcaster of the Australian Open, Channel 9, anymore until he got an apology.
All right. I would like to say something before we take questions. So.
Yes, good evening. So I would like to just clarify the reason why the interview was not conducted on the court, the post-match interview, like it's a common, usual practice. A couple of days ago, the famous sports journalist who works for official broadcaster Channel 9 here in Australia made a mockery of Serbian fans and also made insulting and offensive comments towards me. And since then, he chose not to issue any public apology. Neither did Channel 9. So since they're official broadcasters, I chose not to give interviews for Channel 9. I have nothing against Jim Courier, neither the Australian public, and it was a very awkward situation for me to face on the court today, and it's unfortunate. I chose to say something to the crowd, but obviously it wasn't the time and space or situation for me to explain what I'm doing right now. So I leave it to Channel 9 to handle this the way they think they see fit, and that's all.
Former Australian player Darren Cahill summed it up this way on ESPN.
Tony Jones he works in 9 News here in Melbourne.
Is this typical?
And he hosts a footy show also, which is quite a funny, laughing, breakdown football show for Australian rules football, which is very popular here. He's been in the industry for years and years. I'm sure Tony was trying to be funny, but it was inappropriate. Yeah. And I don't blame Novak for taking offence to that.
Yeah, I'm glad he opened the press conference with that to shed light on it, because it does make sense now, and standing on principles, and he's done that very often in his career, and this one it absolutely makes sense for him to do that, because we've seen the footage and it absolutely inappropriate, and so if you're waiting for an apology, it's deserved.
And especially what Novak went through the COVID year back here as well, considering how badly he was treated by the government here and then sent home without being able to play. I think that Novak was well within his rights to ask for an apology, and perfectly makes sense now what he did on the court.
Whether Tony Jones and Channel 9 decide to apologise to Novak Djokovic or not is a matter for them. But I'm going to leave you with this. It's the trailer for the 2023 documentary Australia's Open, because it really sums up the entire situation.
What everyone waits for is that moment of someone winning something so monumental.
Sport is our national language. It's our national love language.
As the most global, highest profile tournament that happens in Australia, it's the big stage that tells you what you need to know about the country and how they want to present themselves to the world.
But actually underneath, it reveals these stories that say so much more about Australia than anything else.
Australia now, the mean, they do look, they've looked ridiculous.
60 degrees apparently reached on the show courts today.
You worry about the ability of Melbourne to host major sports events.
No one polarises public opinion like Perth's Margaret Court.
This is a tennis tournament, and look what goes on around it. There's so much. Why would you not want to watch that?
All his opponent has to do is hit it into court, which he does.